Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back. So I just got done filming my SMART goals video. It should already be up and going, but I was kind of on a momentum. So I am doing the next video in the series. So as with the SMART goals video, if you haven't already watched it, make sure you go watch it just because this is going to be a continuation of it. The link to the SMART goals video is in the comment or description box, not comment box, down below, but also the link for the workbook for today is down below as well. So today we're talking about all things confidence. So if confidence is ever an area that you have struggled in, then just keep watching. All right, so just like with before, I have a workbook. It is down below. You do not need to enter your email address or anything like that. I don't know about you guys, but sometimes I hate entering my email address to get all the workbooks and stuff. So I didn't want to do that for this series especially, so I'm not. So download the workbook. We're going to be talking about boosting our confidence, boosting our self-esteem, self-belief, all of that kind of stuff. We're going to be going through the workbook at the same time. So let's get going. So the first thing that I like to talk about in this workbook are affirmations. And the reason I really like talking about that is because affirmations, self-affirmations, things like that are amazing ways for us to rewire how our brains perceive and see things. Now, before we get any further, you might be wondering, what the heck? Why should you listen to me? If you don't already know me, I'm Jelaine. I'm a licensed mental health therapist. I have a private practice here in Houston, and I do YouTube for fun and on the side. So why should you listen to me? I'm licensed and I do this all the time for a living. Talking about things like confidence, things like goals, things like that, it's not done enough from somebody who has studied it and who works with it day in and day out. So I wanted to share this information with you guys. Anyhow, back to affirmations. Like I was saying, affirmations are really great ways for us to rewire our brain. Our brains will actually instantly believe and go to negative things because our brains are wired for survival. Our brains are wired to protect us. Our brains are wired to get us through bad situations, difficult situations, things like that. So when we feel I can't do something, our brains are actually going to be more likely to believe that because it is wired to help us survive. It is a lot harder for our brains to instinctively go to, I've got this, this is easy, I can do this, I can be awesome, etc. So starting with affirmations is going to be one really easy and great way to boost your confidence. I did include a couple, I want to say about 10, that are ones that I provide to my clients that I sometimes use myself. And there's other ones that like I modify, so feel free to modify any of these affirmations. And it's things like, I am worthy of love and respect. I am growing stronger and more resilient. I can embrace challenges and opportunities for growth. What I would challenge you to do is to pick 3 and say those 3 every day for a week and see where you're at the end of the week. I can bet you any money your mindset will start to change. And the reason being is because your brain will actually start to believe these things. Our brains don't instinctively believe them because they're trying to protect us. So on the back of that page, I have a list of 12 lines, I should say, of affirmations to write for yourself. So what are things that you can write to work on your affirmations? The next thing is goal setting. If you haven't already watched the SMART goals video, go watch it. I'll put the link somewhere. I don't know where. I have yet to figure out when I go like this or like this, what side things actually will pop up on YouTube. I have no idea. So I'm just gonna, yes. So in this page, goal setting for confidence. So you want to set your goals. You want to celebrate the wins. So I gave you 4 goals to set. What are the action steps to achieve it? And also remember, when you've done those action steps, celebrate. If you don't celebrate, did you actually achieve it? All right, next thing is in terms of boosting your confidence, especially when you're working towards goals, you're working towards specific things, you want to make sure you have your, I call them the cheerleaders, your support group. Those are the people that they are cheering you on. Sometimes they hold up the mirror we don't want to look in. They help us kind of re-pivot, reassess things. Sometimes they are the voice of reason that we don't really want to hear. Who is your support group? List out your support group and write them down. Tell them what you're doing, you know, tell them the goals you're working on, the things you're trying to achieve, and they will cheer you on. The next thing that you need to look at when it comes to confidence and building your confidence is actually failure. Here's the reason. Failure is inevitable. We are not perfect. We are human. We are going to fail at things. We are not going to be able to achieve things instantly sometimes. But if you look at those mistakes, those failed opportunities, those failures, and you look at them as learning opportunities and you help them repivot you so that you can do better moving forward, then it's not a bad thing. It's actually a great strength to have. So I have a couple questions in here for you to ask yourself. So when you're coming up against something that you feel like you're failing at, what happened? What did you learn? And how can you approach it differently next time? So really easy example, let's say you have to make a phone call and ask for something from a business and the answer is told no, and you're upset and you're disappointed and all of that. Instead of beating yourself up and being like, well, I suck at this, what could you do next time? How could you approach it differently? What worked? What didn't work? Ask yourself those questions, because when you do it that way, next time you're less likely to fail and you're more likely to succeed. And then you feel better and then your confidence will grow. See how it's all interconnected? All right, next one is when we learn new things, when we try new things, when we build new skills, we build confidence. Why? Because our brain grows in the capacity of what it can do. So I included a chart here for trying things new. So what is a new hobby or skill you want to learn? Why do you want to try it? And what are the first steps to get started? Now, this isn't necessarily the action steps. This is honestly, truly just, is there a hobby you want to learn to do? Is there a skill you want to learn? Is there a language you want to learn? Something that you want to learn. Why does it appeal to you? And what's the first step to get started? If you want to learn to speak a new language because maybe you have a trip coming up and you want to, you know, do well during that trip, maybe step number 1 is using Duolingo. I don't know. So it doesn't have to be super complicated. Don't overcomplicate it. When we overcomplicate things, we actually set ourselves up to fail. So keep it simple. Keep it realistic. Keep it smart. There you go. I should put that in there. Keep it smart. All right. Next, after you figure out some of those new skills and things like that, it's always good to reflect on things. You always want to, I have this titled as Reflect and Recharge. So what is one thing you've done recently that has made you feel proud of yourself? What is something you accomplished? What is something, it could be super tiny, as you had to make that phone call that you were really nervous about, or you did something you were nervous about, all the way up to something huge of like, maybe you started your own business. What is something, one thing recently you are proud of? Next thing is, what is something that you love about yourself? It's really easy to beat ourselves up. It's really easy to, I hate this, I hate that, I wish this. It's easy to compare ourselves, but you are a unique individual. There is nobody else in this world like you, and celebrate that. It's worth celebrating. And so what is something that you love about yourself? And then the third question I have in here is, how will you continue to build your confidence this week? What are some baby, teeny tiny steps that you can take to keep that success going? So we've talked about building your confidence. We have talked about all of those affirmations to help rewire your brain. We've talked about setting those goals, taking those action steps, having the support system, learning from failure, viewing failure as a learning opportunity, doing new skills, trying new things, reflecting on ourselves, and finally, gratitude and growth is going to be the final step for really truly building your confidence. And the reason being is because when we come from a place of gratitude, it actually shifts how our brains like process things. I was going to say how our brains work, but how our brains process things. So when we focus on a mindset of gratitude, what it does is we reduce the amount of times that our brains will go into survival mode. It reduces the amount that our brains will assume the worst, will, you know, default to the worst, things like that. And I'm not talking about like the Pollyanna, super positive, everything is rainbows and unicorns, but like 3 things of gratitude per day. And it can be the same things every single day. It can be, you know, like I'm thankful for my husband, I'm thankful for my kittens, I'm thankful for my job. But at the same hand, you want to practice the gratitude, because without it, it's easy to slip into that negative mindset. And when we have the negative mindset, we don't have the confidence. So the last thing in the closing thing that I have on the final page, it says, as you navigate through life's journey, keep all of these points I've talked about close. Confidence is not something that appears overnight. It's cultivated gradually. We have to work on it. We have to grow it. It's one step at a time. Embrace the mistakes. They're not setbacks, but they are actually vital components for learning and growth. Surrounding yourself with positivity is crucial. And again, I'm not talking about toxic positivity or rainbows and unicorns positivity. Positivity uplifts our spirit, our mentality, and helps us maintain a balanced perspective. Again, we don't default to bad. And finally, never underestimate your own strength as a unique individual. Every person, we possess a resilience that sometimes it needs a little tapping into, but 9 times out of 10, it's greater than what we actually think it is. We can handle those tough things. We can learn from the failures. We can go through those tough steps to achieve our goals, because sometimes they're scary. And getting through them builds our confidence, because we then learn that we can do it, and we can do it with success and confidence. So keep all of this in mind. Download the workbook. And in the comments below, I want to know from you guys, what are some areas that help build your confidence? What are some things you're working on? What are some maybe lessons that you have learned that have given you that amazing knowledge that you can keep going forward? So that is the next video in, I guess you could call it like my goal series. Sure, we'll go with that. I don't know, it might change here moving forward. But thank you so much for following along with this video today. Don't forget to check out the socials, because there is stuff over there that is in nowhere else. There's some things that are YouTube exclusive, some things that are Instagram exclusive, and some things that are website exclusive. So don't forget to check all of those out. Let me know in the comments below, what are things you want to see? What are things that maybe you struggle with that you want me to kind of put a little snippet video out about? And I will see you guys in the next video. Bye, everybody.